Hey everybody. Finally we're finally live again. Sorry about that delay with the internet. It's really slow. I told my wife, she's like, for all the money we're paying, we should have fast internet. But good morning everybody. Hope everybody had a great evening. I know I did. Drinking the glass of EG vodka. Went out, had some nice Thai food with the wife, had a few sakis, and then came home, went to bed. I had a real good workout this morning at the gym. Did strong leg workout, lightweight, 25 reps a set, supersetted back and forth. Just keeps you toned, builds muscle. You don't have to go heavy, especially as you get up in age. It's good. So today is part two, the George Kehoe murder. Um, Please, people, let me know if it's buffering or something's happening. Yeah, part two of the George Kehoe murder. So, but before we go into that, I want to. There's a guy, former friend, probably still a friend. I shouldn't say former friend, even though I cooperated, he didn't. When I was in Lewisburg Penitentiary, the guy's name was Al Greco, who came in. His father-in-law was Lou Gatto. Louis Red, they called him. He was a captain in the Genovese crime family. He knew my family very well. Lou did. Knew my uncles from the private sanitation business in New York. They were around Fish, who wound up cooperating. It was a bad case. Not a bad case meaning violence or anything. They had a gambling case, and I felt bad for Al. Al was, I think, in his early 50s, late 40s, early 50s, and great guy. All they had was gambling charges. They offered them a plea. I think Al was looking at 12 years. Lou, 3 years. They were going to give him probation. He had cancer and everything. Long and short of it all. And I told, when they came into Lewisburg, I asked Al, they had basically a life sentence. He was never going home. He'd die in jail. I said, Al, why didn't you take the plea? He said this. And I was upset. Al said, my father-in-law, he told me, we're going to trial, fight the case. And meanwhile, it just shows the mafia life, the mentality sometimes. Destroyed Al's life, but Al was released on compassionate release after, I think, 30 some odd years. I'm glad he got a chance to stay home with his family. I hope he lives for another 20 years. Al, if you're listening, I know somebody reached out. They said, yes, you remember me. I know you can't forget me, all the shit I caused up there. But Al, I have a lot of love for you, your family. I'm glad you're home with your kids. Enjoy it. I'm sure you have grandkids by now. You deserve it. And it just shows the mafia life is not the way. And I'll tell you that, people, if you ask him, it destroyed his life. He was a good guy, wonderful family. I met them many times on the visits, and it's just sad. So, Al, I'm glad you're home. I have a lot of love for you, and you deserve it. You deserve it. And I'm sure you have a lot of stories to tell. And I know you have a bitter taste in your mouth with the mafia, where they could all go screw themselves, and rightfully so, because Al, his father-in-law, made him take a plea, actually threatened him they would kill him. And yet Lou Gatto forced Al to take the plea, made him. And yet Lou had his sons take plea deals. So, it's a bad life. Same thing with John Gotti Sr. did the same thing with his brother, people around him. They couldn't take pleas, but he allowed his son to take a plea. So it just shows the life is not what it's cracked up to be. Kids, people out there, to say they're the good guys, they're not. Now, before I get into the killing of George Kehoe, let me go into some of the comments I got. I pulled up maybe about 5 of them this morning. I answered everybody's comment. The ones that stuck out, because some people want to be wise asses, think like I don't know, or I can make mistakes. I'm not saying I don't. So this is from Todd Hancock. Dom, love the channel on average. Since you were a captain, you were required to kick up specific amounts to the boss. And if not, how much did you kick up monthly? Assuming that's how they do it. Or was it a weekly, and how much? Just trying to figure out what each captain does. Well, that's a good question. A a lot of the captains will kick up on a monthly basis, sometimes weekly, but I didn't kick anything up. Vinny and I, we were partners. Vinny always sent money up to Joe. When they both were locked up that Christmas, I had about $360,000 in all collections that I gave to Vinny and Joe, everything. And Louis Electric was with me all the time. And he's like, Dom, you're supposed to keep something for yourself. I said, Lou, I know. I felt Vinny and Joe, it's Vinny's first Christmas behind bars. Joe, it's his second or third Christmas behind bars. Let me give them everything. And I told Lou that. I says, I'll just give them everything. And during the year, I'll take what, should have been mine. So I should have kept maybe 150, 200,000 for myself. But I didn't. I gave them all the money. And Lou says, okay, yeah, I understand. Good move. It's smart because people get delusional once they go away. And I just wanted to just show my gratitude and everything, my support behind the two men. So it varies, though, on a monthly basis. It's usually supposed to be 10%. But Vinny's philosophy was give the boss a lot of money, as much as you can, and he'll never look to kill you because you're a big income for him. So that was Vinny's thoughts. And you'll always get rewarded at sit downs and everything. They'll always try to favor to your side. This is from Matt Sweeney. Dom, would you say a lot of drug dealers are soft? They seem to get robbed often, prepared protects, stash spots. You think to have a pistol on them. Basically, that's what he's talking about. No, you have drug dealers that are serious. They are a threat out there. But when they get robbed, they look to overlook it sometimes. Myself, when Michael Sullivan got robbed back in the day, I strapped up with him, went out, and that's a story for another time, ready to kill the guy who took his money. And then Michael backed out at the last minute. He wasn't built like that. I was. But you have drug dealers that will react, will, stick up. But a lot of times they have thugs on their payroll that'll, stand up and do what they have to do. So, some people shouldn't be in the game, but they're in the game because it's easy money. And then they just start accumulating wealth, not wealth, but making a nice living, better than average. And, they just get lucky, but they shouldn't be in the game. They are soft. I agree with that. Another comment from Nisa 628. Besides looking over your shoulder, how is life treating you? Try boiling cinnamon sticks in a small pot to boil cinnamon sticks in a small pot. It is so good. I always look over my shoulder. I'm always alert, on point. Not as much as I was when I was banging around in the streets. But my wife, when she first was with me and we would be walking, taking the dogs out, I'm constantly looking in every car. And sometimes it was an attractive woman in the car. So she's like, damn, you're being disrespectful. I said, no, Maddie, I'm on point. That's just me. I look at everybody. And there was times that people who weren't in the neighborhood, and I pulled up on them real quick, like, what are you doing here? Like, I went at them aggressively. But I'm always on point, always looking, not saying it's just habit. That's the way I was brought up. And that's about it. So, yeah, I look, but I'm not, I'm cautious of my surroundings. That's for sure. That's for sure. Now, this came from Bobo Cump, C-U-M-P, Bo. 8 hours ago. Dom, Vivian never had Joker poker machines in there. The old timers told Vinny back then, this is not your bar. Some things you say are being fact checked, and please make sure you get the facts straight. Okay, well, just to answer your question, I made a few phone calls last night once I saw this. Actually, my wife saw this comment. I said, no, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. By the way, Vivian, I know her very well, and her daughter Tammy, who I know very well. We'll keep it at that. growing up as a kid in grammar school. So Vinny and somebody else who's in the street still had that spot. There was 2 Joker poker machines in there, in Vivian's. So you have no idea what you're talking about. And check your facts, because I even asked somebody who's still in the Bronx, still has bars in the Bronx. And he said, no, Dom, you're right. Vinny did have that spot with somebody else. And I'm not going to mention that guy's name because he's active in the street and I have a lot of love and respect for him. And he knows who he is. So you could fact check all you want. If I am wrong, I'll say it. My bad. But there were Joker pokers in there. And I know because I played them. When I would go in there, I just throw some money just to talk. Go ask Greg Hill. He'll know. I haven't been in touch with Greg in many, many years, but Greg bounced around with me to all the bars and clubs in the Bronx. There was Joker poker machines in that place. Why wouldn't there be? So, and I don't know, old timers told Vinny back then. That was our neighborhood. So nobody's telling us shit. That was our neighborhood. Pelham Bay, Throgs Neck was our neighborhood. So you need to get your stories straight. Another comment was from Payman64. Dom, you keep saying you have love for Vinny, but you could cause him trouble from the words by what you're saying. He's a killer. He's a killer, even though you know that Vinny's court is near. Please don't say another word. So this is probably from a relative of Vinny's or a friend or some piece of shit sitting in the night in the club, thinking they're tough, who's in the private sanitation business, who, I would definitely love to run into him and see what he has to say to my face, but that's neither here nor there. But people, I do have a lot of love for Vinny. The government's well aware. When I cooperate, they know. They already know from what I told them, Joe told them, South, all the cooperators. They already know. They have it logged in. So it's not anything new. Zero. Nothing is new from what I'm telling them. Wish Vinny the best. He deserves a new trial. Definitely. And I'm not a Vinny Basciano fan. I just have a lot of love for the guy, and that's the way it is. So with that said, we will go into the George Kehoe story. But before that, people go to egvodka.com, order your vodka, 100% organic, gluten-free. We have 3 flavors, rosemary lavender, which is excellent, excellent, excellent with lemonade, especially pink lemonade. We have the Earl Grey sage, which is really good with an iced tea. And also, if you like espresso martinis, oh my God, it's just really unbelievable. And then the regular vodka, which mixes well with everything, even straight. There is zero burn, zero afterburn. People are amazed. You have to try it. Go to egvodka.com, order it today. We're in 44 states. And you won't be disappointed. Trust me. If you order 2 or 3 bottles, we're going to work at a subscription base to bring the pricing down a little bit more for all the loyal subscribers out there. People hit that subscribe button also. We have a lot to offer. Okay, so we'll go back into the George Kehoe stories, and then hopefully Maddie or somebody will be in here to ask questions. People, ask questions about the stories if you have. We left off with, and by the way, most importantly, my condolences go out to the Zatola family. I forgot to mention it yesterday. It was 5 years since Sally Daz was gunned down in his car in a McDonald's drive-thru in the Bronx. My condolences go out to the entire family. I have a lot of love and respect for all of them, and it's just sad. It's really sad what happened. That could have been avoided if Michael knows what it did his job out there, and it's sad. It's really sad. That family, I love that family. I have more love for that family than anyone could imagine. And yesterday was the 5-year anniversary of his death. So tragedy that was just horrific. It's just disgusting. But my condolences go out to the family. Thoughts and prayers. Now back, we left off yesterday. I had Matthew Gillick and Booby in the house. We were partying, went to bed. All of a sudden, I hear a boom, 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 boom on my bedroom door. I come out butt naked, 9mm in my hand, looking. I didn't know what to expect. And I just see Matthew bleed and holding his foot, like blood's pumping out of his foot. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Where are they? Where are they? He's like, no, no, no. It was me. Nobody's here. I shot myself. So immediately I'm like, get the fuck off my carpet. Because he was bleeding all over the place. I was over to the carpet on the tile. Right away, I run in the room. I get a belt and I tie it real tight on his calf so he stops bleeding. I'm like, what the fuck? And he had I had, which he was holding. It was a pump riot shotgun. So you have a pistol grip and you have another handle. So you're holding it like this. And I'm saying, what the F did you do? He's like, Dom, I'm watching Scarface and Tony Montana when they shot him up in the nightclub. He walks into, it's about 3 a.m. He walks into the car dealership and Mel is sitting there. Mel was his boss. The cop is sitting there as well in the back room. And Tony Montana looks at him. Mel, you a piece of shit. And he has the other guy shoot Mel. And then the cop is sitting across from Tony. And he asks, Tony, we could fix this. We could fix it. Tony shoots him. As Tony goes to pull the trigger and hits him in the stomach, Matthew pulls the trigger. Not realizing he said, Dom, I didn't realize there was one in the chamber. And I didn't hear the gun go off, but I heard the knocking at the door. So we tie it up, call 911. So as we call 911, I go in, I put clothes on. My wife comes out. She's cleaning up the area. I'm like, I put the gun away, or left that gun there. So cops come in, ambulance come in, they take him out. And with that, Matthew goes to the hospital. So I went and see Matt. Are you okay? Oh, and they also took Booby because he was underage. I don't even think he was 18 at that time, so they had to take him. So I go see Matt at the hospital next day. He comes out of surgery. He's missing some toes. I'm like, what the fuck? He says, Dom, I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay, well, it is what it is. They, confiscated the weapons I had. And they didn't get all the weapons. They got a couple. So no big deal. So I'm like, Matt, what the heck happened? And it was just a stupid thing happened. But in the interim, I'm getting phone calls from George Kehoe. Dom, tell me who these guys are. I need to know. I know they robbed me. And like, George, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no clue what you're talking about. So in the meantime, I decide, let me go up to New York. Let me get away for a while. So I'm up in New York, hanging around and just robbing people, selling drugs, bringing guns up back and forth, just doing dirt. And I was up there maybe a month and a half, 2 months. I'm really not sure. I said, let me just go up there. I'm staying at my father's house. He lived in Yonkers. And I'm bouncing all around the neighborhood, just doing dirt. Nothing good is coming out of it other than I'm making money. So I have some money saved. I come back down to Florida. And as I'm down in Florida, I told my wife, let's leave. We were renting her mother's house. Let's go somewhere else. So we're looking for a place, find a place in Pompano. And as I go into the complex, now this is months later, I'm like, wow, this is a nice place. Went into the townhouse with 2 floors. I'm like, I really like it. The price was good. I'm like, okay, let's get it. So we have furniture coming in, new furniture and everything. We're there maybe about 2 nights. All of a sudden, doorbell rings. I come from downstairs. I'm like, who the hell could this be? It was maybe 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. I looked through the peephole. Who do I see? George. Then it dawned on me. I'm like, son of a bitch, what an idiot I am. I knew it looked familiar. This was George's complex. I didn't even realize it. I don't know how. It just happened. I didn't even realize George lived there. I mean, that had to be the most stupidest move I've ever done in my life. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I mean, go figure. It's George. And I see him standing out there. He's wild. I said, hold on. I ran back upstairs. I have a 380. I get the 380, which is a handgun. Get the 380, and I go, now Wendy, my wife's laying in bed. I said, just stay in bed. Get the 380, and then I had a silencer somewhere else. I go get the silencer, and I'm screwing it on the gun. I screw it on, put one in the chamber, run downstairs, and I open up the door quick, real quick. Like I did the locks real light, so we went, and I swing it open quick so he's unexpected, and I have the pistol on the side of me, behind my leg. All ready, cocked back, ready. So he turns around. He actually had his back turned. As the door swung open, he didn't even realize. Hey, George. He jumped, turned around. He has a button-down shirt. It wasn't even a dress shirt, just a button-down. And it was open. And I see he had two pistols like this, one on each side. Guy always had a gun on him. Turns around, I see he's fucked up. He said, Dom, that was fucked up. You robbed me. George, I didn't rob you. We went back and forth, kept it cool. He says, then you move here? You moved to my car? George, I didn't rob you. So my excuse was, if I would have robbed you, would I have moved here? So I told him. So we went back and forth. I said, George, you know what? You see, I live here. And his hands weren't near the gun. So I was relieved with that because I'm ready. Like, he didn't even realize I have something around my side. As soon as he's reaching, I'm popping him. So with that, we're going back and forth. Nothing bad, no bad words. I said, George, really, I'm gonna move here if I robbed you. I know you lived here, and that's the way I covered it up real quick. So I said, you're fucked up. I see you're not. You're slurring your words. Where were you? Oh, I was at the dollhouse, he tells me. Okay, good. So with that, I said, listen, I'm not going anywhere. I live here, so I'll see you tomorrow. So he says, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Come by early. We'll get together and we'll work something out. But I did not rob you. He said, okay. Go back upstairs. And I tell Wendy, could you believe this? And I said, George lives here. She looks at me. She says, you're a dickhead. I said, Wendy, I don't even want to hear it. Go back to bed. So I unscrew the silencer, take the bullet out the chamber, put it back in the clip, and we go to bed. Next morning, maybe about 11 o'clock, knock at the door. It's George. He's coherent. I don't see any weapons on him. I'm sure he had one. So George, come on in. Comes in the house. He knows my wife, says hello. How are you? She was cooking. You want some breakfast? Do you want something to eat? He declined. And we're going back and forth. We're talking. Finally, afterwards, maybe a day or two later after talking, we came to some type of resolution. I said, look, George, you get marijuana. You have coke. I have a lot of connections up north in New York. We'll work together. How much were you robbed? So he said it was about maybe total $40,000 with cash and drugs. I'm like, okay, here's what I'll do, George. My end of the profit, whatever the proceeds are. So if we're whacking up, say, $10,000 a key, $2,000 on the marijuana. Whatever it is, if there's a sale where there's 20 or 30,000 profit, you keep my profit. So if it's 20,000, you keep 10. So that'll be 10 off the 40. When the 40 gets paid back that you think I stole from you, then I keep my share. We'll work it that way. How does that sound? He loved it. He said, great. So, excuse me. He said, great. So now he's coming around every single day. And I'm okay with that. he tells me, "Hey, Dom," now I'm waiting for my TVs to come. I think I got them at J.C. Penney, where I bought the couch and everything. So I'm waiting for them to come in. He tells me, "Dom, there's this guy. He owes me money. He lives all the way west." Now, back in Florida, back in the day, anything past I-75 is west, was all barren, all like just swamp area, farmlands. It wasn't really populated as it is today. So he says, he just got a brand new TV. I know he's not home. We'll go in, we'll kick the door in. I'll take the TV and you could have it. Nice stereo system. You could have that all because I know you need it for the house. Right away, my antennas are up. I'm like, nah, George, I don't need it. I just bought everything. So, and he asked me a few times. I'm like, no, I don't need it. With my antennas up, I'm thinking, is it like, am I just being paranoid or is he sincere? Maybe about 2 weeks go by. I have my TV now and everything. I declined that. And again, we're seeing each other every day. We're trying to get some deals, going and everything. And I know he had a habit. He had a heroin habit. He was getting packages from New York, heroin, or Jersey, wherever he was copping. They were sending it FedEx. And he would tell me. So, excuse me. So with that, again, we're in the house and he turns around to my wife and I, and he says, "Hey guys, why don't you come with me? I'm going down to the Keys, not even the Keys, the Everglades," he says, "the Everglades. I'm going to do some fishing. It's really nice. It's quiet there. We could go fishing and just relax, spend the weekend." So I'm like, nah, that's not for me. I'm not like that. Come on, I have a small boat. We'll go out. We could fish. It'll just be us. We'll have a really relaxing time. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. She doesn't like it. And then she's like, no. I said, I'm not a fisher. He says, no, it's really, really. And he's trying to convince her. Finally, she says, I'm not going anywhere, and he's not going anywhere. So now my antennas are really up. So I'm like, okay. What happens is Ernie Colazzo, Vinny Foresta are my father's friends and partners in New York. Ernie comes down with a guy, Michael Sniffen. Michael's a stone cold junkie. They use Michael's credit card, his ID to get a rental car, to get a room at the Sandy Shoes Motel in Fort Lauderdale by the sea. It's right on the beach. I think 2 or 3 stories. I think it's a 3-story motel. So they have a room there, and they're in my house one night, and Michael was all fucked up. Ernie wound up taking the poker, the fireplace poker, and cracking him in the head with it because he got disrespectful. Michael went running out, screaming, bleeding, and it was just chaotic. They called my father, "Dad, I don't need this fucking aggravation." It's like, Dom, just don't worry about it. Michael was heading back up to New York, and Ernie and Vinny are down there. Vinny was looking to get some firearms and do some deals. Ernie had to see some people down there that need some money to be collected. So it would be an earn for us. And also they wanted to bring down Joker poker machines. They were looking for locations to bring down the machines. So with that, they're hanging around. So this one day, we have the rental car, which was a 4-door Caddy Seville. And we head to a insurance guy. So we're heading to the insurance guy. It's Ernie, Vinny, and we have George with us. I introduced them to George. I said, "George, these are some guys. We have to do something. You want to take a ride?" George happened to come by. He says, "Yeah, okay." Jumps in the car. I'm driving. Ernie's sitting next to me. Vinny and George are sitting in the back seat. So we go to the insurance guy. We're somewhere in North Miami. We pull into a shopping center. And Ernie says, "Hey, Vinny, I'm going with Dominic. I'll be about an hour. So here's the key." Dom, give him the keys to the car. I gave him the keys. "Guys, if you want to grab something to eat, if you want to wait, we'll get something to eat, but we'll be done in about an hour." They say, okay. In the interim, Vinny and George, they're talking, they're going back and forth for an hour. We're upstairs. Guy gives us an envelope. It was, I think, either $3,000 or $5,000, to get started. Uh, just upfront payment for us to go get his money. He was owed, I think, maybe 50,000. So with that, as soon as we're walking down the steps, because it was 2 stories in the shopping complex, we were on the top. We stopped halfway in the staircase. Ernie opens up the envelope, gives me half, whatever was in there. Says, "All right, cool." That was a quick earn. And then we're going to go try to collect this guy's money, and we'll take maybe 25% of that as well. All right, cool. Go back to the car. I drive. Turned around. We said we didn't eat. We planned on meeting up later on. So by the time we get back to the house and everything, George and I exit the vehicle, tell the guys, "All right, we'll see you later. We're going to get together." We're going to a place called, it was a burger joint. We were going to go there and then go out afterwards. So we say, all right. So we go home, shower, get ready, go to the burger joint. They meet us there. We're all in the burger joint, we're eating. George turns around because he's out of it right now. He was drinking, whatever else he was doing, drugging. He says, "Hey, I don't want to eat. I'm not hungry. I'm just gonna bounce around for a little while." So I said, "All right, we'll be here about an hour and a half." So we're talking, we're all eating. Nothing's said to me. Like, okay, having a good time. And he's like, "Dom, I really don't care for George." I said, "He's all right. I don't care for him." I said, "He's okay." And I just left it at that. So we go to a place called George Comes Back. We finished. We had a few cocktails. We go to a place called Roland's, which was, I think, off of A1A. It was a happening bar type atmosphere, really nice. Ernie knew them over there from back in the day. We go in there. It's 5 of us now. It's Ernie, Vinny, George, my wife, and myself. So we all walk in. So as we walk in, they get his drinks. They walk us in, take us by the VIP section. We're sitting down. And he says, "Dom, I need to talk to you." So we walk away. As he's talking to me, George comes over and tries to listen. They get into an argument back and forth. Because Ernie said, "Get the fuck out of here. I told you heard me. I don't want to talk to Dom. I don't want you here." "Well, who do you think you are talking like that?" And they're going at it. I jump, "Guys, this ain't happening. It's not happening. George, it's not happening." I didn't even go into it. It's my father's friend. "This is not happening." Pushed him away. I said, "Please go with my wife. Sit over there with Vinny. Guy has to speak to me." And Ernie, come on, don't talk to this guy like that. So I'm trying to diffuse it. So it's like I'm sticking up for both of them. George walks away. Ernie turns around and says, "Dom, this guy's looking to kill you." I says, "I know. I had a indication of that." He says, "No, no, no. He's really looking to kill you." I says, "I know, Ernie. I know. I already know." "No, no, no. It's serious, Ernie." I says, "I know. He tried on 2 occasions to lure me to locations. Dom, we got to take this guy out. He tried yesterday, or he tried earlier today." He says, "What do you mean he tried earlier today?" He says, "While we were upstairs at the insurance office, he tells Vinny, Foresta, he's like, 'Hey, I'll give you $20,000 to kill Dominic.' And Vinny asked him why. "Dominic robbed me. I want him dead." So Vinny said, "Okay, but I don't have a gun." He says, "No, I have a gun." So Vinny tells him, Here's what you do. When Dominick's driving and he stops or there's the right location, pass me the gun and I'm going to shoot him in the back of the head. George says, okay. As I'm driving now, Ernie's telling me, when you stopped at a certain light where there was no one around, it was, basically it wasn't as crowded with traffic. Vinny tapped George. George passed him the gun, gave him the gun to shoot you. I said, okay, this motherfucker. All right, I'm not going to say anything. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to whisper to Wendy that she has a headache. But before I'm going to tell her, wait 10, 15 minutes. Start bitching. You have a headache. You have a headache. You want to go home. You want to go home. Agitate me so I'll be agitated. Let everybody see that. But prior to that, let us know on the side when she's not in earshot that you're going to have hookers come to the hotel and we're going to party tonight. We'll have a big party on the beach since you guys are on the beach. And we'll do it that way. And George will definitely look to go. So I whisper, we walk over there. Everything's okay. The guys shake hands. I said, Ernie, you have to shake hands with him. They shake hands. My bad and this and that. So now George is feeling good, having a few drinks. I whisper to Wendy, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, start bitching you have a headache. Really bitch that you want to go home, you want to go home, you want to go home. She never questioned. She did what I told her. She knew something was up. So with that, we're hanging out. They mentioned about getting the hookers, coming to the hotel room and having a good time, a party. I said, I'm in. I'm definitely in. George is like, yeah, I can't wait. Oh my God. And this and that. He's all excited. Wendy starts with, she has a headache. She has a headache. She has a headache. I'm like, guys, she's giving me shit. I'm out. Sorry, I'm not going to make it. So we planned on, all right, I'll take her home. We'll spend another hour or two. I'll take her home and that's it, and then I could bounce out. That wasn't the case. So she's leaving. I'm leaving. So I said, George, come on, you ready to go? So he's like, no, I'm going to go with them. I said, all right. As I'm leaving, George says, Dom, you have some money. Gave him like $20, $40. He says, just give me 20 or 40, whatever. I don't know if he was testing me or what. Here. Gave him the money. Said, you sure you don't want to come home? No, I'm going to go with them, hang out with them. I'm going to have a blast. Okay. In the meantime, I whispered, we're talking. When I was talking to Ernie, I said, once you get him to the hotel, knock him out. Have him unconscious, hit him over the head, knock him out, and I'll be there. I'll come back there, and then we'll take him out. We'll kill him. So with that, we go home. They leave. And we all left together. But everybody saw there was an altercation in the place between George and Ernie. They were going back and forth. So they go to the motel. I go home. As soon as I went home, I changed. I put on all black clothes. Wendy, I said, go to bed. Went, got my 380, got the silencer, put it on the gun. No, I didn't put it on the gun. I had them both separate, so it was too long. Both separate, carried that. And I'm heading back to now I'm heading to the hotel. Get to the hotel, go up the stairs. As I go up the stairs, before I get to the door, nobody's around. It's dark. It's maybe 12:30. Yeah, it's about 11:30 at night, 12 o'clock at night. It was quiet. Take the gun out, take the silencer, I screw it on, click, put one in the chamber, all cocked and loaded. Put the hammer down. And I don't know why I did it, knowing this guy's going to be knocked out. It's just maybe being precautious, knowing what's going to happen. I knock on the door, and we will continue tomorrow with the rest of that story. everybody. And also for the kids that are watching, I am not glamorizing this at all. I'm telling the story of what happened. This is part of the life. It just shows you that it's a treacherous life. It shows you this guy, George, not once, not twice, 3 occasions tried killing me. Tried killing me. Now, if these weren't my father's friends, I get shot in the back of the head. I get shot in the back of the head. Don't ever sit down like that again. My wife, Maddie just showed up, so everybody got what they want. She will be reading the questions. So making all that noise. How dare you make that noise? I told you.
Come in with a bang.
Yeah. Literally bang bang. But so we're not glamorizing this. The streets are not your friends. Are not your friends. They are dangerous. And talking about that, your friends aren't your friends either in that life. But talking about that, when Mr. Molino passed the comment, chalk one up for the good guys. Let me tell you something. I just read in the Capisci article. Mob guys beat the shit out of a restaurant guy because they told him to leave the place in Tom's River. Beat the shit out of him and punched the wife in the head. That's a good guy? That's a good guy. That's a disgrace. And this was a captain. This is alleged. Guy didn't get arrested for it. He got arrested, but he's not convicted yet. So it's alleged. But this is a captain in the Gambino crime family. And then in another article, somebody just pled out to also hurting another restaurateur. It's like, are you kidding me? That's the good guys? No, the good guys are the working class people, the citizens out there, law enforcement, prosecutors, judges, and you have bad. Don't get me wrong, they're not all good, but 95% of them are good. So those are the good guys. So let's see. Any questions? And tomorrow might be Gene coming on. I have to get with him, see if he's coming on. Tomorrow will be 12 p.m. live. If he's on, cool. If not, we'll go with part 3 of this story. The final chapter with George Kehoe, the George Kehoe murder. And if Gene is on, then we'll probably go into Saturday with the George Kehoe murder. But I'm going to try to give content every day. We'll go into other areas as well. We'll be versatile on this Mafia Roundtable. So let's see. Okay.
Someone's asking, where do you work?
Where do I work?
Someone else says you have different businesses.
Yes, I have different businesses. To me, it's a hustle on the street. We have from the vodka, the champagne, construction, real estate. You want to answer? You want me to answer?
I'm just making sure. Keep it
A lot of different things. We have the medical platform. So I'm involved in a lot of different things. I had the entertainment company. We did things. I had Chance the Rapper, Ludacris, Migos. We had country artists also. We did events. So I said the medical platform. So we have a lot of different things going on. We're coming out with the mindset drug, with fat burners as well. So a lot of different things. I try to keep busy, keeps me out of trouble. To me, it's a hustle. Just like being on the street. It's a hustle, but it's all legit.
Well, you're getting kudos. You have stories about, you have more stories in 1 week than what people do in a month. Someone else asked, any Chicago outfit stories?
The only Chicago outfit stories, I was away with Nicholas Calabrese. And they were dangerous. They were a killing machine. Great guy. I loved him. He was a great guy. He just passed away, I think, this year or last year. His brother was a homicidal. I mean, just treacherous from what he told me. But those are the only Chicago stories I have. The jailhouse, but we'll get to them. I see Dean Justice. Thank you for your contribution. Hey, Maddie, please don't leave Dom home alone. Dean, come on, God damn! Because they were saying we need Maddie back to read. And I didn't know how to scroll. I'm new to this. As you see, I don't even have our proper introduction up. So when the film guys come tomorrow, I'll ask them. This is all new to me, so please and thank you everybody for bearing with me with the patience.
Johnny says, Johnny the Greek from London. Hey, Dom, just like to say in your defense, 99% of these Y2 tough guys would be pissed in their pants if they ran into you back then in the day. Even now, you keeping it real, bro.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But people are entitled. I don't get insulted. I do get insulted sometimes, but I understand it's just internet. And, they could say what they want. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I am going to set something up in the UK. Like I said, my friend Michael Anderson, a.k.a. Mick. I love him. That's my brother. He owns a part of a football club, minor league club. I think it's the Gillingham. We're going to look to maybe do a speaking engagement or live Mafia roundtable out there at the stadium. So we'll see. And I'm going to start talking to him about it. Right now he's on vacation with his lovely wife. Wish him the best. Miss him a lot. And have to get out there soon. So we're just, I stay home a lot because of the cat, Fluff. I don't want to leave her. So
enjoying YTV shorts. Which video he talks about Nick Calabrese?
What's that?
Somebody's asking what video does someone talk with Nick Calabrese?
Oh no, that was me. I was speaking with Nick when we were away. We were in Phoenix together, Arizona, in the jail. And he would just tell me about the stories. One of the killings he did, actually more than one. So I'll go into some of those stories. Let me just get my thoughts together on the stories he told me about his brother. His brother punched him one time, broke his eye socket. His brother was treacherous, and the son's around. And I know he did an interview talking about the father, how the father was just really dangerous and didn't give a shit. We have another contribution from Johnny Fish Eyes. Thank you. It's greatly appreciated. What does that say? Love, scam, benefit me, full of bull. Well, thank you for the contribution.
Matthew says, how come Dom's name is not affiliated with the EG Vodka in any way?
Well, it's companies that own EG Vodka. So there's 6 partners. We all own 16.6% of the company. So the 6 of us are the majority shareholders. And it's a company entity that owns it. It's under the company entity, but it's under my name. I had to fill out the federal questionnaire. Had the lawyers do that just to make sure everything was above board. And then I had to show where the funds came from going into the company. So, it was stringent paperwork. They asked about the past, and that was it. But from the research I never had anything with liquor, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. So don't.
Don't get me started.
See, I'm looking to get it started. But no, it's a corporate entity.
No,
that
and any
owns
paperwork that's out
yeah.
there, it's not updated yet.
So
Joey Everyman, I don't know. He wears a Richard Mille, so I'm assuming he works.
I do work. You know what? I'm up every morning, 3 a.m., 3:30. All my emails go out. My partners even tell me, the fuck. Sometimes my phone, I'll bling them about 4 in the morning. They're like, oh my God, you have to stop that. Emails, they'll see emails 3:30, 4 in the morning. But that's when I get a lot of work done. I'm actually, you know what? Somebody asked me about, do I miss the life? And I said, yes and no. And I answered that today. I said, there's 98% is no. There's 2%, yes, you missed the life. And here's a for instance. I have 2 massive construction projects going on. I own the property. One's 9 home development. The other's 2 lakefront homes. And right now, my funds only go so far. You only have so much money. I know I do. Trying to get the funds is so frustrating for the projects because I'm trying to bring on partners where back in the day, and that's what I missed about the life. I had a dozen people. I could say, guys, I have this project. I need $500,000. I need $1 million. I need 700,000. And I would have it like that. That's the frustration nowadays. But, you live and learn, and it makes me appreciate things a lot more. So that's about it. But I do work every day.
Jeremy H., thanks for the contribution.
Thank you for the contribution.
Dom, what is your current car lineup? I thought I saw a Porsche headrest in the background once. Love your channel. I will always support.
Current car lineup. We have higher end vehicles. I have a few of them, and then we have some antique cars as well that I even haven't had the time to take them out. Actually, we have two 1969s. One's a Corvette, one's a Mustang. The Mustang's my wife's, the Corvette's mine, and we just don't have time taking them out. But I love my cars as I love my watches and my clothes. My wife goes crazy saying I have too much clothes to throw things out, and I'm not going to throw things out. Oh, and for somebody else, I'm going to look today. Somebody asked me about, there's a photo surveillance shot. It's Vinny, Anthony Donato, and myself. And I have a short set, burgundy short set on. And I told the person from New York, I still have it, and I'm going to put it on for you. So I'm going to look for it today. If I find it,
I know exactly where it is.
Okay.
And can we throw it out?
No, we're not touching it. I'm framing it.
Oh my God.
I'll auction it off to somebody.
I want to throw it out.
So I will be wearing that tomorrow. So we're going back old school. So
John says, hi Dom, can you share a Jerry Chili story? Is it true when drunk he told Sammy Joe, Watson, Castellano to go F themselves?
I'm sure it was true. I'll go into a Jerry Chili story tomorrow. Let me think of something that he did do. He was at the captain's meeting. Guy's comical. So was Anthony Rubito. And even though I had a sour taste in my mouth with Nicky Santoro, he was comical as well. So there were three ornery old timers that, yes, I'll go into a story tomorrow for that.
They're just going back and forth here.
I know, I see.
Eugene's girl and.
Why did the Lucchese we have from Rome, why did the Lucchese just take disrespect from the Albanians with all those buttons? Lucchese's, listen, they were dangerous when Vic and Gaspipe were on the street. For some reason, it blows my mind. But how could one of their guys get smacked? Not only smacked, the Albanians stripped him down to his underwear, kicked him out of his club in Morris Park, and that was it. He had to walk in the street naked, basically. And nobody did anything. They allowed it. Vinny and I'll go into another live story. It'll probably be in the next few days about it. Maddie, please remind me.
About what?
The story with the Albanians with that. Because I'll go into more detail. But Vinny wanted to kill them. We had them set up. We were ready to go. And I told Vinny, I got your back. I'm with you 1,000%. But I'm not going to do this and then have the Lucchese's or somebody else come up and grab all the Joker Poker locations. That's not happening. They're going to be ours. If we're putting in the work, I want to get rewarded for this one. I'm not going to have a Joe Blow who sat on his couch then come and say, well, these are our spots. They're Lucchese spots. No, bitch. You didn't say that when the Albanians were here. So that's another story, and I'll go into that tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, but the next few days. I'm going to try to come on every day. So we'll see. Try. That's why I said try.
I'm emphasizing.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
Dom, what's the mob's biggest racket? I don't know if it's then or now, but what was it then?
Back in the day, it was heroin. Always gambling, prostitution, I would say. And then the stocks. You're not supposed to, and I'll go into that. Before Dean Justice, thank you for your contribution. Don, be careful of those cars. Scammy might be calling you up. Oh, Scammy. Oh, you like that one. Mikey Scars gave him the name Scammy. So I call him Sammy the Snake, but he gave him the name Scammy. Extended warranty. Yeah, imagine that. But what was I talking about before that one?
The Albanians.
No. We went on with the Albanians.
All right, Johnny the Greek from London. Love the old school stories. We used to get away with it before technology locked everything down. Street life is over now.
Oh yes, it's definitely over. But now you have a lot of things for some reason happen to come by me, but there's a lot of different scams going on out there with banking tranches, billions of dollars. I'll go into that later on. But it's amazing how people evolve and these bankers. And then also I have the story, my uncle Luca that passed away, had a car accident in France, left me $48 million. So that's a story in itself. We'll go into that later on as well. And thanks to my boy, Michael Anderson, Mickey, who, discovered my uncle. Any other questions?
Do mafia members get in bar fights a lot?
It depends who. It depends who. You had PJ. Yeah, you have a lot of guys, but a lot. No, we're supposed to be refined. We're supposed to be set back. I know I was. I didn't look for an altercation. I looked to have a good time because I knew what could happen, what would happen if I got into an altercation. So I tried not to, but it happens. I don't think more. I would say not as much as people think. That's my opinion.
There's just a lot of going back and forth.
Well, anyway, I had a phone call yesterday with a film crew in the UK. They're interested in doing something, so documentary that I might be doing with them. Also, we're looking to create a 4 or 5 episode series that I'm looking to come out with based on the life. Also with Joe Barone, who will also be on sometime next week with me. And he has a story. He was working with the government, with the feds for 20 years. He was with me, by my side on the street. I stuck up for him. This guy could have burnt me anytime he wanted to. Easy. So he had my confidence, my trust, loyalty from me. Like, he had everything, and he never did. So a few things he did, we'll go back and forth when he's on live and let him tell it. But he has a great story with the FBI, what they did, and integrate it into what I have. So we have a really good, I would say, foundation for a mob story, mob series coming out. So
people are looking forward to the Gene. Some are and some aren't. Some are saying, how could you support a wife beater?
Well, Gene will be here tomorrow. Hopefully his girlfriend will be with him as well. And he could speak. He has his own mouth. He has his own voice. And the thing I like about Gene, even though he's off keyed, he's out of his fucking mind half the time, excuse my French, he keeps it real. He's accurate. Like, he'll tell you the way he feels. And I know with me, when I do get on him, Dom, you're right. Like, I could break him down to show him where he's wrong. It's just he has to listen. He has to calm down. Maybe we'll put him on like Prozac. But he just has to calm down a little bit. But, he has potential. If he doesn't listen, then guys, I have to try. That's why I'm here. I'm a little bit older than he is. I'm more situated, settled in. And he has to just understand, Gene, this is not the streets. It's no longer the streets. You have to change. If you don't change, you'll be back in. If you want to go back in jail, and that's what you want, and out of jails, and it's not a life. It's not productive.
So Johnny says, Johnny the Greek from London, with all due respect, it's plain to see that no rat thing is a big myth. Going on history of the facts, 99% of men facing big time all made deals. Never say never. I know. 100%.
That's true. That's true. Never say never. I thought I would never rat. I did 10 years for a crime I didn't commit. I was always true to the game. But loyalty works both ways. I mean, like I told Vinny when we were facing the death penalty, And I knew we were not getting the death penalty. It's a guy in the street, another tough guy, street guy that got killed. It wasn't like if we would have killed the prosecutor, we're definitely getting the death penalty. If we're convicted, we're getting the death penalty. But when a street guy gets killed, you're not going to get the death penalty. No way, no how. And I told him, make sure I have everything I have, make sure I get it. I have everything coming to me. I got you. I have you. And then all of a sudden I get a message from Michael Knows. You have nothing coming. And then Christmas time comes around. $360,000 I collected. I get $3,500. You know what, Michael, Vinny? I did what I had to do. And that's it. Loyalty works two ways. I'm tired. I'm not going to be a scapegoat. I'm not going to be Dominick the donkey again. It's not happening. So I did what I had to do. Then, you know what, Michael? You want to say that? You wound up with 15 years because of me. Because of me. I gave you the 15 years. How about that? And I'll stand behind that 1,000%. You violated the time you violated on, you could thank me. Think of me every day, Michael. You got it because you wanted to be a wise ass. I have nothing coming. So.
All right, the Bronx. I have to leave. What's the new schedule? I don't get notifications and your times are all over the place.
You don't get guys, nobody's getting notifications that I'm posting it. So I'm putting up the times. You have to subscribe. I was told subscribers, and I'll check into this. All the subscribers should be notified. If not, I'll figure it out when the team comes here tomorrow. Sorry about that. Tomorrow we'll be on live 12 p.m. Every Friday it's 12 p.m. And then I'll be consistent. I just wanted to change up the times, morning, at night, to see what accommodates. I want to be accommodating to the people in the UK, overseas. Just I have a lot of support over there. So they show me tremendous amount of love, and I want to give it back to them so they could be involved in the lives. Because if I do a live late, it's too late at night for them. So I'm trying to accommodate everybody. But we'll have a schedule up.
Why did Louis Electra, a.k.a. Louis
Electric.
Well, it says Louis. Electric go from the Gambino to the Banano?
I don't know about that. That's the first I'm hearing. The Louis Electric I'm talking about, I met him. He was Tony Urso, Tony Green's acting captain. From there, I elevated him from Vinny's orders to an official captain. And I know he went away, did some time. And all I heard was good things about him. He had a tremendous amount of love and respect for me. But his hands were tied. Michael was calling the shots, so he could only do so much. And that's the sad part of the life. If you're not in favor, you're not getting anything. And even if you are in favor, you're not getting anything half the time. So it's just a treacherous life. And let me tell you, everybody, I was away with Quiet Dom for a year, same unit, that he even said, he's from the Bronx, know him very well, turned around and said, it's a effing disgrace the way they're treating you, what they've done to you. And if Vinny comes to this institution, no disrespect to you, I'm not acknowledging him for the way they're treating you, what they did to you, how he allowed it. And those were his words. And that's an old-time, powerful old-timer. That's how much love and respect I had. And it's just, I know I broke a lot of people's heart, but there's a lot of people who are in power I'm in contact with. They're like, Dom, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. I'm proud of you. And it's hard. It's still hard for me.
Maddie, you should talk. We like you and want to hear from you. Any questions they have?
Oh boy, we're not even going there. Do not give her confidence, because that shit's not happening. I will cut this shit off quick.
It's not confidence, sweetie. It'll be truth. You guys can ask questions.
All right.
Dom, I also do solo acoustic vocal cover act, played all over the world, and he connects in Florida for restaurant gigs.
Excuse me, I apologize. Yes, we do have a lot of different restaurants. DM me on the side. We'll definitely look into it, try to help you out. With that, everybody, I want to thank everybody for all the love and support. And again, we'll either tomorrow, if Gene's not here for the live, I'll go into the final chapter of the George Kehoe murder. if Gene is here, we're gonna have a lot of content. We might do a 2-hour show to go in, let him speak, let him talk his mind. People ask questions, but try to keep it respectful. The guy is trying. I hope he's trying.
So let me get in 2 more because you didn't ask
Go
me if
ahead.
there were any more questions. So there are.
Good.
The truth, my example of a wise guy hump, typical question. Dom, did you ever see any made social guy soil himself out of fear in the presence of another made guy?
Soil themselves? No, but I saw them dog it. Ralph Balsamo, Mutt, M-U-T-T, Mutt, dogged it. Usually, if you see a made guy getting into an altercation, if you're sitting down with your grandmother, your family, you get up and you help that guy because that family comes first. The Mafia. I mean, we had an altercation. I didn't need his help. Ralph sat at the bar with the young kid who he was with us. We didn't need his help either. Got up with us. I was with Big Jimmy, Anthony Donato. I had a crew with me, and I went to work on this guy. Bad, really bad. His mother worked for the UN, and that's another story in itself. But yeah, he mudded. And Vinny said, Ralph wound up telling Patty Falsetti, because right away, and I know Vinny went there and told him, what the fuck? What's up with your guy? Ralph said, oh, no, there was a lot of guys there. He didn't need my help. And my response was, he's a friend. He's supposed to be there regardless. If I need it or not, he's supposed to have my back. So Ralphie Balsamo.
So the truth, Dom, did you know my Uncle Chris? He used to host card games on Broadway. And he's asking again, Dom, was my Uncle Chris with the Genovese?
Chris, if you give me a last name, but no, I wasn't involved in card games, so I wasn't bouncing around those circles, better off saying. If you give me the last name of Chris and where he lived, then I can narrow it down. So I'll keep this open a little bit more for you to respond.
There's a whole bunch. Well, then I can go down.
Yeah, go ahead.
I try to go from top to bottom because those are the first ones.
Well, I go from bottom to top. This way I can never fall.
Maybe you can't stand up.
Let's not go there.
Did you know Baby Shacks, Manocchio?
No, I did not.
The incident at Tosca's owned by the Albanians.
Oh, Tosca's? Yeah, no, that's where the altercation happened too, in Tosca's. Then he went there to get the tape from them.
And someone's asking, Gene is bringing his girlfriend over?
I told him he has an open invitation, so we'll see. Oh, we have Bobo Kump. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was talking about Tosca's, yes. So you're obviously somebody from the Bronx who knows me, who's been around me or heard of me.
Oh,
yeah, she's looking after her wife, picking up easy questions. Okay, you're picking up easy questions. Yeah, she's looking out after her wife, picking easy questions. Listen, ask the questions. Hard, difficult, nasty. I like them. Bring the bad questions on.
Because
I'm looking at it too. If I like the nasty questions, just keep it respectful. Keep it that's not stupid.
Right.
I've listened to Gene many times. Yeah, so have I. But guys, we're gonna wrap it up now. Some of us have to work for a living. I have to go take care of my fluff. A lot of love out there. Thank you for all the love and support. Remember, egvodka.com. Also, go to themanshot.com. For you guys out there, so I know there's a lot. Because we had, I think, the first week, over 300 hits on the website. And I don't know who came on, but we know we had the hits. Go to themanshot.com if you have erectile dysfunction. And trust me, everything is private, confidential with the doctor. And guys, you'll feel like you're 18 years old again. Even if you don't have it, that you're not getting that same arousal as you were 18, get it. Get the treatment. You won't regret it. Just like egvodka.com or egvodka.com. Order your vodka. 44 states we are in now.
And you got a contribution. Thoughts on De Niro playing Uncle Joe Ligambi?
De Niro. Actually, I had a pilot called The Bronx Boys. Or I'm going to pull it up. And then tomorrow I'll go with the cast of characters for each mobster. and we had a heavy lineup. De Niro was in there. Who else? I think Ben Affleck we had in there. We had a heavy lineup. Eva Longoria was in there, one of the wives, girlfriends. So it was a pretty good lineup, and it matched the characters as well.
So here's the last question. John Wayne. Dom, why are you ratting on Joey Merlino? You've told on enough people.
What ratting? Where do you see ratting? Where do you see ratting? Stating a fact that I heard? I'm actually helping Joey. I'm helping him to back up. Don't come out of your mouth with things or comments, because somebody in the circle is giving things up. So I'm actually helping him. So I don't know what you're saying, but it is what it is. Everybody feels differently. Everybody has a different opinion. You're entitled to it. And that's it. And a boss, somebody active, shouldn't be on social media. I'm sorry. It's only the demise for them. But you know what? So I'm glad you opened up the door for this one. Because I was told, just like the Chin did the crazy act, I'm crazy, I'm crazy, I'm crazy. They said Joey's doing the same thing. Let me go on social media and show people I'm not in the life. Joey is the boss. I even had people hit me up. It's in the comments, so it didn't come from me, saying Joey would never give up the boss position. There is a street boss up there, but Joey's pulling the strings. Just like anybody would. Listen, if I was still in the life, I would do the same thing. I would say I'm out, but I'm in. The money's too powerful. You're talking millions of dollars a year in your pocket. You're not giving that up after achieving that top pinnacle position. It's not happening. But Joey shouldn't be on social media because he is an active member of organized crime. With that, peace out. A lot of love for everybody. Wish everybody the best. Stay tuned tomorrow, 12 p.m. We're going live, either with the final chapter of the George Kehoe murder, or you'll see Gene Borello. With that, much love. Peace out.